that is really weaved into my day-to-day life. And it's just exceptional to look at my history and my coming along and seeing how I can have an impact on other people, from our relationship with the foster care system to our relationship with juvenile justice and helping young adults go into careers and opportunities to expand their life. So I really feel like when things happen in your life, it does set a tone for how you move forward and the impact that we want to have in the world while we're here. So I was adopted at a young age. I graduated from high school down in South Florida. I became a Florida A&M University graduate. And as Roy mentioned, yes, I'm a rattler. As Roy mentioned, I taught for many years in Leon County. And during that time, I realized there was so much more we could do with our young people besides just educating them in the classroom. And I really wanted to look at an opportunity to support young adults, using young adults as they prepare for the workforce. I was displaced from my family at the age of 16. I ended up living with a teacher and his wife. Funny, I had to ask that person, could I live with them, because my mom had lost her home and she moved, and I did not want to move. And the wife was a stay-at-home mom. She didn't need a nanny. I said, hey, you need a nanny? And she's like, sure. So one of my coaches from my school allowed me to stay with them. They were my neighbors, and I finished my high school my senior year at my high school, and I went off to college at 17. And I realized during that time just how difficult it is to navigate adulthood and figuring out how to manage life when you're young and you're out in the world. And so the work that I do every day, that I'm blessed to do every day, is really based on truly understanding the walk that our young adults and the teens that we work with are trying to navigate. So to be able to be a teacher, to at one point be, after 6 years, I was a charter school principal for youth that had dropped out of traditional school and needed an alternative environment, and to be able to come into workforce, which I have been a part of since 2001, and help young adults navigate entry into the workforce, figuring out how to make the best choices with the options that are available to them. I'm very fortunate to have the opportunity to do what I love to do and partner with Career Source all throughout the state to provide opportunities for young adults. And that's really what the ECHRT mission is about, to provide and share solutions for children and young adults in need of a second chance. So we're all very—
I already have a question I want to throw at you real quick before you move to the next slide. With Career Source in Florida, and this is not unique to Florida. We see this nationwide, even though ECHRT is involved and helps run that program. It does trade as a separate brand name. It doesn't trade as ECHRT, correct?
That is correct. So ECHRT Connects we are a contractor or a service provider for 5 regional workforce boards, which are all branded Career Source of some nature throughout the state of Florida. The Career Source brand is a Florida brand. You go to other states and you may see Work Source, or you may find it with some other workforce designation associated with it, or a lot of times you'll see they're just called American Job Centers. So, but we are oftentimes branded as Career Source Pasco Hernando, and our ECHRT team is behind the scenes. We are the driving force to the success for those programs operating within that Career Source office. So oftentimes you won't see the ECHRT name right out front, but we are the driving force for the success for those young adults in those programs.
Awesome.
There are only 2 locations in Florida where we are branded as ECHRT Connects, and that is in Volusia County and in the Duval and Baker County area.
Oh, so in some cases, depending on the local council, depends on how they're branded then.
Absolutely, absolutely. Some of them allow us to brand as just our own programs, but the majority of them want us to be known as the Career Source brand.
Gotcha. Excellent.
just a little bit more about me, and I can get into just explaining and sharing with you all the good things about workforce development. I am a mom over everything. I have two beautiful daughters, both now UCF Knight graduates. My oldest daughter, who's at the top of the screen, will be graduating on Friday with her bachelor's degree. She's also an MRI tech. She is preparing to go on to be a physician's assistant. Fortunately, she took my good career coaching, and she took a 2-year degree, was able to enter the workforce, and she and both her sister are now funded with a college education with no college loans, which is a primary thing that we really want to help our young adults try to reduce debt and while advancing their education. So my youngest daughter is a early childhood educator. She just graduated in May. So they are both onward and upward. And you also see my favorite boy, my only boy, Phoenix, enjoying the pool there. So that's my. And I call him a puppy, but he's 11 years old, so he's really not a puppy. And then one of my favorite things is to enjoy our Florida sun and the beautiful ocean, our sunset. So that's what I do whenever I have a chance and I'm not working, which I am often working. But if I can find a sunset and sit with my computer on my lap and do some work, that's even better.
There you go.
So again, just share with you a little bit about workforce. Overall, the Exit Connect mission for workforce is to provide fundamental life, education, and workforce skills to improve individuals and organizations through education, coaching, mentoring that together forms the building blocks for a better life. Ultimately, when we're working with the Career Source brand, we have two customers. We have the job seeker customer and we have the employer customer. And ultimately, our primary objective is to prepare people to go into the workforce so that they can be contributing members of society and really help our overall economy as a whole, which is beneficial to all people. We do work with, as we talked about, all of our business is about collaboration. Career Source Florida is the lead agency in Florida. All of our work is governed by the governor. He is the primary, the lead on all of our work. And there are 24 local workforce development boards that that are partnered throughout the state to focus on the business.
There's 24, yes. You said?
There are 24 workforce boards throughout the state. And again, just their primary objective is supporting employers and helping Floridians gain employment and remain employed and advance in their careers. And we are a service provider for 5 of those boards. You see their logos listed below. That's Career Source Pasco Hernando, Career Source Citrus Levy Marion, Career Source Flagler Volusia, Career Source Research Coast, which covers Martin, Indian River and St. Lucie counties, and then Career Source Northeast Florida, which covers Duval and Baker County for us. All of these are programs that partner under the Department of Labor.
How do young people find you, Shellonda?
Oh, well, go right into that next slide. We talk about how people find us is really based on recruitment. We outreach. Customers are not mandated. None of our customers are mandated to come to us. They are all customers by choice. And we outreach. We use social media. We are partnering with local community-based agencies. We knock on doors when we find the need to. We're at parks. We're at places where young adults tend to congregate. We work with school counselors. We work with the school district so that as clients are making the decision to withdraw from the public school system because they're not finding success in that, we want to be there to be their safety net. We don't want them dropping out of school without somewhere to go that they know we're going to support them. So it is a grassroots, ground level outreach. All of our team members are constantly connecting with our current participants through social media, and we use that as a web to outreach to many more. So who do we serve? I do want to say, I want to go back one slide. We talked a little bit, David Dennis our CEO, shared with us through our Give a Damn campaign, and he talked a little bit about how poverty really is impacting our customers, our world. And I know many of you may have seen that video. I'm not going to show the video, but he references, there's a quote in here for him, that why do we have workforce services? Why was workforce services added to Eckerd Connect? Because we were already working with much younger populations, but the organization really wanted to broaden our scope really from the cradle to into careers. And Eckerd Connect, through our workforce division, is really able to have a positive impact on changing the dynamic and just the negative impact of poverty. And here's a quote here that just talks about Eckerd Connect is more committed than ever before to flattening the curve of poverty. Our health professionals are working on the cure for COVID-19, but poverty already has one. Our workforce development services and job corps services are the vaccine that will end that cycle. I have the pleasure of working with 54 amazing professionals who dedicate their life, their 8 to 5 time, and many times outside of those hours to really help young adults recognize how do they come out of their unfortunate generational poverty circumstances to really develop a plan for themselves and for their own families. And we really work with them on those skills. So when we talk about who we serve, I really want you guys to kind of know every participant that comes into our program is economically disadvantaged. They are at 70% of the poverty level, not 100%. They are below. In order to come into our program, their income levels have to be at 70% of the poverty level, or they have to have severe barriers to educational and employment success. So who are we serving? We have 15 locations throughout the state of Florida in 9 counties, as I mentioned, and we serve over 3,000 young adults. We've served over 3,000 young adults in the last 3 years. Their ages are 16 to 24, and we have served adult clients. We have had 38 adult clients, and we're expecting to enroll more adult clients being 18 to 70. Most of our adult clients are really 25 to 70 years old. And we enrolled those clients because of a national emergency. So we had the Hurricane Irma, where we were helping individuals that were impacted by Hurricane Irma to get back into the workforce and provide them with temporary jobs that would lead to long-term employment. And these people are people who had suffered some impact from Hurricane Irma or were long-term unemployed. So we do that in our Pasco Hernando project. We were just awarded a $340,000 contract to provide COVID-19 relief for adults who were negatively impacted by losing their jobs or in need of help during that time. And we're going to help those individuals get back into work. Especially as the unemployment benefits are sunsetting, the additional unemployment benefits are sunsetting. So we have a contract to help adults in Pasco and Hernando County to get back into work there. So the majority of our work is with 16 to 24-year-olds, but we can serve any age group as long as we have a contract to do so.
Excellent.
All of the funding, I saw there was a question that comes up, all of the funding for our services are funded under the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. That is a federal legislation. It was reauthorized in 2015 and renamed that. It's formerly been known as WIA. It's also been known as CETA and all kinds of names that many people have grown up knowing that these resources have been available to really help job seekers and employers connect and meet their needs for in-demand industries. As you can see, 69% of the people that we serve are school dropouts. 67% of them their reading and math levels on the test for adult basic education are below 9th grade level when they enter into our program. 18% may be pregnant or single parents. 16% have prior court involvement. 83% are unemployed or have never worked. So when we look at those numbers, again, there is no court mandate to come to us. There is no obligation through any public assistance program to enroll. Our services are a program of choice. So we're asking clients, we're offering our services to clients. We're selling them on why we can help them and how we can help them. And we're also looking at them and deciding, are they really ready for the help that we have, so that we're good stewards of the resources that we have and we can maximize outcomes for them and for our funders who are trying to really make an impact in their communities.
Shellonda, let me interrupt real quick and just ask a question. You may have this slated to cover a little later in the discussion, but I kind of want to jump to it now. I mean, we get specific workforce funding, as you said, from government sources to do specific things. But I know, and I often refer to these things that we reach out to outside supporters. Some of them are on this call today, and ask them to help us financially. Now, they're not helping us with things that the government is paying us to do, right?
That is, yeah. The things that we have a lot of resources to help in many ways our clients. But there are also things that we can't help with. Again, we're talking about people who are at 70% poverty level. Their income is 70% of what the basic poverty level is. So they certainly are resource deprived a lot of the time. Surprisingly, the majority of our clients, because of their age, are not on any public assistance benefits. This particular age group often don't meet the requirements, kind of like our healthcare system. They don't meet the requirements to fit into any one category. Because they're 16 or because they're 18 to 24, they're independent of their parents. They may or may not have children. If they don't have children, they're likely not receiving any public assistance benefits. They are literally what you would imagine couch surfers to be. Homeless kids who are in between residences and are really just trying to figure out how do I make it in this world? And somehow with their parents,
you've kind of created some unique funding opportunities that supporters can through Eckert help some of these young people. I'm thinking of your Success Award program, the collaboration you did with Raising Hope. Talk about those as just examples of what I call gap needs. It is those needs that aren't covered by our government contracts that are real needs of students. Especially what's amazing is so many of these students are, I call them overachievers. They're coming to class, they're participating, they're doing good, they're learning job skills. Many of them are working in addition to honing their skills. Talk about some of these special things you're funding in addition to the government's resources that you receive.
So when we look at our Eckert partners and our Eckert donors and collaborations, we are looking at opportunities to help these young people with some emergency assistance funds. Oftentimes they're running into situations where they are behind on their rent. They can't pay a light bill. We have limited resources, very limited resources to be able to assist them with some of those things. Even food assistance. I mean, we're not allowed to go out and purchase food if they're in a situation where they're homeless and we're having to get them into a temporary hotel. They have severe needs as that. We have situations where we have youth who have children, and we've worked with Raising Hope, and we're able to get 15 young mothers and families resources such as just basic supplies for their infants or for their toddlers. Diapers,
clothing, diapers.
Absolutely, things that aren't covered through, again, a public assistance program that require additional resources. We have worked with the Success Award Project we've helped clients get their high school diploma, and maybe they tried going to college at one point and they owe some money and they can't afford to get back into school. We've helped with Success Awards to fund getting them back in school, to help them get a job and get and get a budget together so that they can repay a loan that they may have, defaulted on because they weren't able to just balance life and school. So we've been able to do that. We've been able to assist clients with starting nonprofits because they had a mission of their own and they just needed some guidance in how to get a business started and just invest in them in so many ways. I know I have team members on, and they know exactly what their clients are looking for when we're coming to me and asking, but we do a little bit of everything, and we could just use assistance with, particularly right now with the pandemic. Our clients are best served when we meet them face to face. But because of the pandemic, we're not able to meet with them face to face. So what we're doing now is trying to connect with them and train them virtually. Most of our clients don't have internet access. They don't have cell phones that are smartphones. A lot of them are using cell phones that may have been provided through some government programs, and there are a limited number of resources. So they need help
with the pandemic, these technology needs are really important, and those would be in addition. Those would be items not covered in your current contract, correct?
Correct. We may be able to pay for a training, but we can't always buy all the tools needed for the students to be successful.
I mean, if a company, and again, if you're a business owner and you're on the call with us today, and you've got some older technology that you're going to be replacing, there's some young people that could use that used computer.
Absolutely. Even our project in Jacksonville, we've invested quite a bit in our project in Jacksonville. We are in a high crime, high poverty area in the city of Jacksonville, and we've partnered with a church who we rent space from. They gave us an office, a training room, and a computer lab. The computer lab they had was their lab. They used to use it with, elementary school kids. Right now, that lab is in total disrepair. There are about 12 desktop computers that are super old in there. They are really not operable. They don't have enough memory to support advanced systems, software systems. So in that project, we serve about, we have to enroll 85 new clients per year, and we serve about 140 or so there. We have about 6 laptops that we are using, cycling kids in and out month by month for training. But if we could get that lab up and operational, it would allow people, our clients to work on their Penn Foster when they don't have access at home, to come in and job search and just be more efficient and really be a community resource. And that's what our hope is, to always be a community resource. Our programs operate as satellite offices for CareerSource. So many of our programs are co-located in CareerSource offices, but some of them are not. They're standalone programs with our own building spaces, and we are satellite services, but we don't get the benefit of having all of the technology. Those are things that we need.
The assumption I think that some people would have as a young person in the program is just handed a computer, and that's not the case. And you do have some learning labs like in Jacksonville that need to be upgraded. A dozen computers there would change the world. And as you said, hundreds of young people don't have access to the technology. And of course, if there were a supporter that wanted, and I'm the fundraiser, so hold on to your wallet while I talk here just a minute. But if there is a company out there, a business leader, anybody listening, for $300 or $400, we can put a laptop into a young person's hand that will literally transform their world, because they're able then to get the training. Because as Shellonda said, her training programs have been web enabled. They're able to provide this training if a student has the technology, and then that enables them to do job interviews. Again, it's I'm 60, soon to be 62 years old. I came from a time when I didn't have to do online applications. as I've visited some of these programs, if you don't have a computer, you can't even apply. And so it's just mission critical to helping these young people, giving them an opportunity. That's all we're trying to do, is give them an opportunity to be employed, because there are thousands ready, willing, and able. They just need a little help.
Absolutely. When we're able to invest in them continuing their high school education so that college can be an option, and our funding will allow us to pay for some of their schooling. So we have clients that go into become certified nursing assistants, patient care techs, CDL. They can get their CDL licenses and become CDL drivers. But they have to have the resources. Our funds won't allow us to give them all the necessary tools to go into that training and be successful. And many of our clients, again, because they're in that age group and they don't always have supportive parents, they're not eligible for Pell Grants. They're not eligible for some of the financial aid services that you would suspect they should be eligible for, because you're definitely going to get Pell if you're a parent. But only 18% of our youth that we serve are parents.
Right.
They rely on their parents filling out financial aid forms. Well, many of them are displaced from their parents. Their parents haven't decided to help support them. So they literally are out on their own trying to figure out, how do I advance my life? And we will put forth some monies, and I would say our training dollars are not as big as we would like it to be. But most of our clients are going right into work because they have no other option to continue their education so they can go into higher paying careers. So, but they're willing and they're ready to put in the legwork. They just need a little help.
Wow. Now, if the company's out there and maybe they could host an intern, maybe they could be part of mentoring. Talk to me about some of those ways that companies can get involved. Of course, I'm always twisting their arm to write a check to go get some stuff, but there's other ways they can be involved, right?
Absolutely. So I skipped right just so you have it up on the screen, how you can help, because we know you're here to help, so we appreciate it. With Workforce, we've placed in the last 3 years over 700 youth into paid internships. Well,
wait a minute. You got to say that again. Say that twice. Say that again.
We have placed over 700 youth into paid internships, earning about $1.3 million in wages, so that they actually can now contribute to their household's needs. And it's an entry into the workforce, because our youth are oftentimes in a position where, you guys have heard it before, I can't get a job because I don't have experience. I can't get experience because no one will give me a job. So what we've done and what our legislation allows us to do is to set up paid internships where we look at their skills, we assess them, we evaluate what their skills and abilities are, what their strengths and aptitudes, and we look at what their plan is. What do they want to do? Because, again, when you find work that you're passionate about, it's not work. So we will connect them with businesses in their local community. We try to get businesses that are within 5 to 10 miles of where they live, because many of them are traveling on public transportation or Ubering to and from work. And they can go into work with paid internship. Taxes and fees are covered by the grant. Liability is covered by the grant. Workers' compensation is covered by the state of Florida, so they're under the state of Florida's workers' comp. That all of this is free to the business. The business has to be willing to have a real position for those clients to go into, with a job description, with a training plan, and they're going to evaluate them and determine, are they learning the necessary skills in that role, so that those skills now become transferable skills. We do want businesses that will hire, but if they can't hire, investing in training is enough, because then they can take those skills and apply for other work that may hire them. So we are looking for businesses in our communities that are interested in having paid interns on our dime. You train, we pay. And it opens up opportunities so young adults aren't only thinking about fast food, retail. They're really looking at other entry-level positions that are in demand in our communities where they can have a long career path.
Wow, that's exciting. So walk me through the locations again, one more time, for
Yeah.
business owners that may be on the call with us today. And then I want you to go back to that slide before I interrupted you to introduce your staff.
Yes.
But locations
So,
first, then introduce
yeah.
your staff to us.
Awesome. So our locations I'll actually put up both because it's going to tell you some of our locations. Pasco, Hernando counties. We serve all of Pasco and Hernando counties. We have offices in Brooksville, Newport Richey, and Dade City for that area. I have Rachel Jenick. She's our program manager for that project. She has over 14 years experience working with these groups. We also have 3 locations in Volusia County with Matt Thomas. He's, again, been on board with us for over 14 years. He has offices that provide services in DeLand, New Smyrna, and Deltona. We have Tamika Perry, who is oversees our Northeast Florida, which is our Jacksonville, our Duval County, Baker County. So we are providing services in metropolitan Jacksonville, as well as McClenny, the city of McClenny, and Sanderson, providing services to young adults in those areas. She has 17 years experience in workforce development. She actually came from one of our funders, and she's our newest program manager. We also have a long-time contract with Citrus Levy Marion, where Kim Gray is our program manager, and also pictured is Heaven Cologne. She's their site manager. We have a $1.4 million contract there where we are operating WIOA programs, youth, adult, dislocated worker, as well as a youth bill contract. We've had a youth bill contract there for, 7 years, where we are really having such a positive impact on young adults' life and introducing them to the construction trades. And in those areas, we are more
trades. So the youth build is more trades focused?
It is more trades focused, and we have 2 youth build projects that we work with. So yes, we in Citrus Levy Marion, we are in Ocala, Lecanto. What is our other location? Chiefland. We're providing services in those areas, but we serve the entire county. And then we have Angie Strickland. She is also one of our newer program managers. She has been with us, and she was promoted up from a lead career coach. So she's been with us her entire time. And she covers Indian River, which is Vero Beach, Martin County, which is Stewart, Port St. Lucie, Fort Pierce areas, and we have services in all those cities. So we are always looking for work site partners that will mentor our youth on the job. You don't have to meet with them separately. You can mentor them, lead them, and guide them as they're a paid employee on your team.
Awesome. Hey, let me tell a story on Angie Strickland. We did a success award with one of the young people there in that Indian River area. A young lady by the name of Tierra Reed. Tierra's mom was gunned down, murdered in her car, and Tierra was one of those single parents you talked about, and she was one of the superstars in the program. And she primarily with public transportation, made it to work, made it to the job. She took over taking care of her 2 younger sisters in addition to her daughter after her mom had been killed. And the program reached out and recognized her. We ended up getting several of our board members and financial supporters, several others, got a chance to meet Tierra. We had her come tell her story, and they asked her, "What do you need?" And she said, "Well, I'm public transportation to get to work," and she had 2 jobs at the time. in addition to doing her training. And they tell me she had just about perfect attendance. I don't know how you get back and forth, 2 jobs to home and your training without a car, but she was doing it. And we decided as a success award to get her a used vehicle. And we brought that vehicle down there, and it was just so special. I mean, cheers, everybody crying. Angie leans over to me, and she said, "You have no idea what this is going to do for the other youth in our program, because it serves as a motivation for them that hey, if they dig in, not only will they get a job, but there might be a chance that they could get a success award too." And I just wanted to tell that story because these success awards, they really help us because it helps fund things that your current contracts aren't able to fund. And that little bit of hope, give young people that there might be a way that they could get some transitional housing assistance, some transportation assistance, some help with specific needs, emergency needs, that is beyond the scope of the local workforce contract. So again, I know the heart of your team. It just so touched mine. I've got to spend a little time with them, and just really, really, really special. And it's just neat to see what you're doing. I see you got some more photos. Show us some more of those changes.
These are our change agents. These are the frontline staff that work with the clients that we serve. And again, it's a matter of choice. So when you know that someone chooses to come to you, you have to take great care of them, and you have to listen and allow them opportunities to be their personal best. We utilize motivational interviewing. We are following up with them, contacting them. We really do become stewards to help guide them through becoming adults. And so these are the amazing people that make up the Florida team, and we could not do this work without them. We have amazing employee retention because they love what they do, and they love the organization and our mission that we're driving home to people. I want to share. I have Rachel on board. Rachel's one of our program managers in Pasco Hernando, and she can tell you we just got to. We had another client. Florida will get success awards. We submit one every month. We have so many awesome youth that
keep them coming. I want you to submit one every week because we've got donors with big hearts that want to help these kids. I can promise you. Awesome.
Well, we have taken advantage of the success awards. We just had a young man who, Rachel, if you can share with, who we helped move into his first apartment, who was in school. Can you share a little bit about him?
You unmute yourself, Rachel.
Hello, everyone. How are you? This is Rachel. Thank you for allowing me to share this story. We had a young man actually came through one of our in-school programs in a partnership with a local high school here in Hernando County. When we met him, we could tell he was definitely struggling. A school professional shared with us that in the beginning of his senior year, he lost his mother to violence. He was then moved in with grandma, and then just about halfway through the year, grandma passed from some health issues, and he really was just left on his own. It would have been so easy for him to make the decision to leave school and not graduate, but he didn't. He stuck it out. A lot of the teachers were very supportive. And through his participation in our program, we were able to do some additional training, support him to graduating with that diploma, and help him gain employment. And then later we were able to reach back out to him and offer additional support to help him get his own apartment with his brother through the awards and through the funds in our Success Award. His brother also was a previous program participant as well. So this was huge for them, life-changing to be able to be on their own, support each other through the losses that they've had, and still be able to grow and contribute back to their own community.
Awesome. What a terrific story.
So again, everything that you're doing really does help. We're doing everything we can. The government is providing opportunity, but there are areas where we just could really use more help. So the impact of Florida workforce, out of the 3,000 young adults we served in the past 3 years, 525 have gotten their high school diplomas. Not all of our kids come in without their high school diplomas, but those that in their plan, they want to get their high school diploma, we do everything we can to help remove barriers and obstacles to achieve that. We have over 2,600 of them have earned professional certifications. Those can be in everything from food handling to customer service training, National Retail Federation customer service training, to the American Hotel and Lodging Institute. We really look at what industries are growing in Florida, what industries are booming, and what industries are welcoming to young adults. And we really connect those youth because they don't have experience with gaining skills. If you can go in and speak the language of an industry and speak the lingo and learn what it takes to navigate that, you can get in and get the experience. And so we really focus on them getting certifications in an area where they can go and continue to grow. Again, we've had patient care techs, everything that you can think of within our demand industries. I mentioned earlier we had 763 young adults with limited work history earn over $1.3 million in wages, contributing right back into their home communities, getting the zest and the thrive for earning their own money legally and legitimately makes a world of difference when you actually have your own paycheck coming in. Over 2,300 of them were assisted with placement and employment. 201 we helped get enrolled in some post-secondary education and training. And we don't leave them at exit. Getting a job is not our ultimate goal. We want them to have a job, but we want them to gain a career path. So what we do is we also will follow them for a year after they exit our program, and we're monitoring what their needs are. We're still providing case management and support, but at this point, 6 months after they exit our program, 76% of our youth are retaining employment. 69% are retaining employment for 12 months after exit. It does not have to be the same employment. They just have to remain in the workforce and working. So we know that our work is impactful, and we know that it is changing the lives of so many, but nothing beats hearing it from the clients themselves and our success stories like that we've been sharing.
That is awesome.
I've got a couple of success stories I want to share with you. We have some video clips. Maybe they'll work when we send you out this presentation. We don't want to have it glitch, but I do want to share some success stories from the field. Sadie is one of our success stories from our Volusia contract. She's 19. She originally tried to come into our program in 2018, but realized that she wasn't quite ready for it. It just wasn't right for her at the time. She came back to us in February 2020 when she was pregnant, and she had matured and realized that she really needed her high school diploma. She had dropped out of high school. All of our youth in our Volusia project are high school dropouts. They don't enroll any graduates. Their primary objective is to help young adults that are displaced from the traditional school system get the help they need and get back into the workforce. And we have a 70% high school graduation rate in Volusia County. 70% of our exiters exit with a high school diploma. Sadie came into our program needing a lot of life skill support. She needed assistance with employability skills. She needed assistance with identifying what her real career interests and skills were. She did some career exploration. She completed Dress for Success programming. We helped her with financial literacy. She earned a CPR certification, and she earned her high school diploma as she desired. She was able to get into the workforce. She entered into the workforce as a cashier at a racetrack. Because of some of her certification and training in customer service and retail, she actually was offered a promotion and became a shift leader supervisor, working between two stores that she oversaw. And she reports that she was able to, because of the help that she received from Eckerd Connect and from Career Source Flagler Volusia, she was able to move into a new residence and get a more reliable car. Her daughter is now 11 months old, and she is very appreciative of the opportunity to get back engaged into the workforce and into school through our program services. That's a picture of Sadie at the top there.
I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Again, just to remind everybody, we've got links to the video stories that Shellonda's telling, and everybody that pre-registered for this call, we had over 80 people. We're going to email this out to you. And so you'll get a chance to watch these videos from your own laptop. I want to kind of circle back, Shellonda, and I want to remind folks, if you want to give cash, it really helps Shellonda then make the decision about how to best allocate it. And I would just encourage you, if possible, all you have to do is go to eckerd.org and click on the donate button. eckerd.org/donate will also get you there. And then when you fill it out, really simple, there's a little comment section. All I want you to do is just write in the word workforce. And I mean that day, within the hour, Angela Mazzol, our Director of Annual Giving, who's on the call, makes sure that money is transferred to Shellonda so that she can get it to work. Within 24 hours, we're going to make sure your money goes directly to helping a young person in this workforce program. So I say all that to say, get involved. This is such a special program, such a special need. They're doing tremendous, tremendous work. What a great team. And I just hope that you'll, when you get this PowerPoint, you'll look at these videos. And, if you've got questions, Shellonda, how can somebody reach you?
I will make sure that I send out my email, but if you have something to write.
Yeah, I'm going to type it right into the comments now.
Yeah, I'll type it into the comments and make sure that you guys have it, my contact information.
Great, excellent. So hang on, she's going to type it in. You'll be able to grab it before we get off this call. Shellonda, one last thing I kind of want to touch on, and you've touched on this a couple times today, and we've got about 5 minutes left. You've answered a lot of questions. A lot of people have been posting them in chat, and we've addressed them as they've come up. But talk to me about how this great team you have has endured this pandemic, this COVID-19. How are they connecting with your students? Kind of walk me through what you've been going through the last 90 days.
I apologize. My office mate, Phoenix, is barking at a delivery at the door. So thank you. You talk about how the pandemic affects us. Well, there's an example of it. Again, I have an amazingly resilient team because of the motivation that we have with our clients. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, don't worry about the doggy. We're all used to that.
So because of the trek that our youth go through, our team is amazingly resilient. What we've done throughout the pandemic, all of my staff have remained engaged in work. We were out of our offices for about 10 to 12 weeks. We were all back in. As soon as they opened the doors back up, we developed a plan to put our teams on rotating schedules so that if someone was impacted by COVID, we'd still be able to operate 5 days a week. We have developed some virtual training to make sure that we can continue to train our clients remotely, but oftentimes many of our clients aren't able to participate in that. So we have set up times where they can schedule appointments and come in to meet with us one-on-one. Whenever we can get a big enough space, I know one thing we need in Pasco County, if anybody knows, we are looking for a big enough training space in Pasco County to continue our construction trades program there so we can socially distance about 10 to 12 youth and put them in actual training. That needs to be face-to-face training. We've been looking for a location that can house us, that won't charge us an exorbitant amount of rent. We need it for about, I think, how many weeks? About 14 weeks. So we are just constantly looking for ways to continue to provide services to our clients. They need us. They need us to be present, and they need our motivation and our smiling faces encouraging them. And so our teams are doing everything they can to make sure that they are able to engage with our customers on a day-to-day basis. So I'm very proud of them, and right off the bat, when we opened back up June 1st, I was able to see our teams were back placing kids in employment immediately. We met this year with the pandemic. We achieved over 89% of our enrollment goal. Even though we were shut down for 10 weeks, we were at 95% of our work experience placement goal. I lost you guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. We
okay,
can't
and 94%.
see you, hear you.
Yeah, I can't see you guys anymore. And 94% of our positive placement goal, putting them into employment, the military, post-secondary school. So even with the pandemic, meeting our goals and objectives, we operate like production. We want to know that if a client comes into us, did we help them achieve the goals they wanted, so that when they leave us, they're referring a client, they're referring a friend for service or a family member, and they know they can always come back. That's our goal.
Wow. Shellonda, I just want to thank you again for today. This was so insightful. We've had dozens of people in the chat room just thank you, wanting to make sure they get a copy of the video. And I want to assure everybody we're going to be sending both the video and the PowerPoint out to you. So thank you for joining us today. Please share. Please reach out to folks. Shellonda has just been so transparent in sharing her heart, and most importantly, the needs of our young people. So thanks for getting involved. Thank you so much, Shellonda, and thank you so much for our Florida workforce team and Career Source. We so appreciate you. Thanks, everybody. Next week, we'll be focusing on Success Awards. So it's going to be a lot of fun. You'll be hearing about it. And Shellonda Rucker, you're one of the superstars. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Please don't hesitate, anyone, to email me. If I didn't get to answer your question, I will definitely answer your question. Just send me an email or give me a phone call. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, everybody. We appreciate you. See you next week.